This is Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost, and today we're going to have a little deeper understanding about what it is when it says that we create our feelings. Okay, because you're thinking, well, no, I don't create my feelings. This happened, and so thus I'm feeling this way. That is the normal way to do. And yes, that is the normal way to do, but it is not the only way to do. You can actually rewire your brain to do things differently. So for instance, you have an example of someone saying something to you, okay? And you have a reaction and you feel that you are rejected or that they were mean to you. Let's use mean, okay? So they were mean to you, what they said. That means there is a program in your mind that says those particular words, those particular meanings is mean. And not only that, you have already attached the emotion you're going to have with it. So if you're crying because you have hurt feelings, you have attached that when those words are heard, you will have hurt feelings and cry. And that is the program that your brain will produce for you effortlessly. Now, if you don't want that program, you can rewire it. What you would do is you would look to see, why is it that those words, I say that they are being mean to me? Why is it that those words are mean to me? And then if you want those words not to have power over you, you can use the 3-stop thought process to get that to release. Okay. The other thing you're going to look at is to see, well, what's the problem with someone being mean to you? Like, why is it causing you to be so upset? Now, does that mean that we want people to be mean to us? No. But do we want people to be able to affect our mood? Those who are, quote, being mean in our eyes? Is that what you want? Okay, you have to ask yourself if you want that. Now, for me, my mindset says that it gives them power over me to control my mood. That's what my mindset says. So my mindset says, no, we're not going to have that reaction when someone says something that I feel is maybe disparaging to me, or maybe they say I'm ugly, maybe they say I'm fat. Okay, those are things that people say. So the thing is this. A lot of times we're upset because we actually believe what they're saying. We probably say it to ourselves. Okay? I find that if you do not believe what they say, their power is very, very minimal. You just get to decide if you want that kind of a person in your life. Okay? So when we are reacting to words, that's because we have a program. Okay, if I say the word, I think you're such a the, you'd be like, okay. But there are words that you have in your mind that say, if someone says that, oof, no way. Okay, those are the words. You've given words power. And I have decided I don't give words power like that. Not to alter my mood. I give words power to amp me up, motivate me, keep me in a high vibe, but words are not used to keep me in a lower end of vibe of things. Because remember, lower vibes, we're not avoiding them. We don't think they're bad. They actually have a purpose. They're to let us know that, hey, you need to pause, pay attention, and take action. That is so different than taking the words, taking the actions, and labeling ourselves, making ourselves demotivated, thinking we're horrible. That's two different things. Okay, we want to use our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts, our words, our actions, our habits, okay, to remain in a higher vibe. Okay, and when there is a lower vibe, that's pause, pay attention, take action. And when you do that, the emotion recedes. Okay, now you want to take healthy action, of course, right? Some people pause pay attention, and then they take an unhealthy course of how to handle the situation. Of course, then that could produce more lower vibes. So when you do take action, you want to make sure the action is a higher vibe action that's going to create higher vibe responses and behaviors and more emotions that are of a higher vibe nature. Okay, so is that making sense to you as to understanding when you are upset, you have a program that is telling you this has to make you upset. And you have to ask, do I want this to make me upset? And if you decide no, do the 3-step thought process to release that. And if you say, I'm cool with it, keep moving on to something else. But the whole point is that you do have a tool to use for when you want to release an unwanted thought, unwanted habit, unwanted behavior, unwanted feeling that you think is impeding you or that's holding you back. Okay? So remember, it is within your power. Now, the programs that are in your brain right now, you believe them 100%. 100%. And sometimes it's such 100% that if someone comes along and tries to mess with your program, you're going to get defensive. You're going to dig in. Okay? And so that is what's great about the programs when they're of a higher vibe nature, right? You want you don't want anything to shake you off, okay? But the lower vibe ones, we want to release them. Don't want them lingering, getting comfy, hanging around for hours and days and weeks and months and years. The productiveness of that, very minimal. I don't know anyone who goes around and says they're going to deliberately do something so that they can stay in a low vibe. I'm going to get this job because I think it's going to make me miserable. I'm going to marry this guy. I'm going to date this guy because I think he's going to treat me bad. No one does that consciously in their logic mind, but in the subconscious mind, oh boy. Okay, so what happens is as you're going throughout life, things happen to you. So your brain is trying to work and figure out, why is this happening to me? What is this? What can I do? Blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to get all kinds of information from other people, and they'll give you what they think is going to be helpful to you. And some of the things you'll adopt and some of the things you won't. But many of the things that we may adopt may not be useful at all. Okay? They may say, well, it's natural for you to feel that way. It's okay. And then that's it. And the point is yes, it might be natural because that's the brain pattern program that you have. Okay. And it is okay because that's the program that you've been working. But then there's no solution to help you to alleviate, to feel better, to stop something. Okay. And to maybe develop a new norm, a new pattern, a new human way of doing things, a new natural way of doing things. Got it? So when we have things going on, the brain is always trying to figure it out. And so we get all kinds of information that are passed to us from loving family, friends, media, TV, songs. I listen to songs sometimes, and I listen to what people say. I'm like, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. Because I'm like, that's not going to help you get out of your heartbreak. It's not going to help you to feel better about life. But that's why when they say, the music, it moves me, or the song, it moves me, I am all about being moved in the upward direction, okay? The higher vibe direction. And when it comes to lower vibes, I use them wisely, which is to pause, pay attention, and take action, okay? When you do that, life gets really smooth. Okay? What happens is your brain gets resilient at whatever is happening. So instead of your brain saying, oh, if this happens, oh, I'm not going to be able to handle that. Oh, that's too much. Oh, I will never okay, that talk is what is creating the programs to be fed. And if you don't want that program in you, then you have to stop feeding it that. And so what you do is the 3-step thought process to start to drop and release the emotional intensity. The emotional intensity. Because remember, the brain goes with the highest emotion. It thinks you want it. So if you have fear, it thinks you want fear, and it's going to help you produce more. If you want calmness, it's going to say, oh, she wants calmness, and produce more. Okay? Once you understand how the brain is working, then you will know how to cultivate it and feed it in the way that's beneficial. Right now, the majority of people, when they get into a lower vibe situation and they're in a lower vibe emotion, they do not understand this. Okay, they do not understand how it is that they're keeping themselves stuck. That is why there is a variety of reactions that people can have to different things, and why different people, things happen to them and they seem to do well as in recovering. Other things, other people, they have things happen and it all has to do with what their brain is saying to them about the situation and the emotions that have been attached to it. If you say this happened to me when I was 5 and I'm never going to recover from it, well, you're never going to feel like you recovered from it. So it's always going to affect you all of your life. And you're thinking, well, it is because, and you believe that 100% because you've been telling yourself that 100% for so many years. And people will say that and they'll teach that. But the thing is this, if you have the program that no matter what happens to me, that my brain is able to wrap around it and then I grow from it, I become stronger, okay? That is a different mindset program. If you like that, you can instill it. But if it's like, if this happens to me, I get weaker and it'll hang on to me and I'm weak. Oh, that's a program. And so you have to understand how effective your brain is being for you. So now once you know how effective the brain is being for you, then you can understand how, wait a minute, I can do this with my brain and it will do it just as well as it did that lower vibe, the higher vibe. What do you want to do? What do you want to change? Who do you want no longer to have control over you? What do you want no longer to have control over you? What words, what emotions that you have that you're using that are making it so that it impedes you? You didn't get that job because whatever those things are, get rid of them. You're not happy with your body because those are all things that are telling your brain to not be satisfied and content. Now, the thing is this, whatever it is that you are at, where you're at right now, that is where you're at. And when you are talking about it, you're actually hating on yourself. Your self-talk is actually even more powerful than the outward talk, especially if you agree with the outward talk. Oh my. Okay. So I cannot emphasize this enough when I say this. You'll hear me say it a lot because once you understand this, when someone comes to you and you're in a low vibe mood and they're trying to tell you something, you won't be so resistant, defensive, looking for empathy only. Okay, empathy is important. We always should do that when we're dealing with someone who's in a low vibe state. We definitely should do empathy. But also, when you're in that low vibe state, you want to be picked up from it. Do not. And the only way you're staying in it is because you're thinking, well, this person's not understanding. Well, that is also a program that you have to be understood in order to move forward. That's a program. Do you want it? Now, what I've learned is that you yourself can give yourself everything that you need when it comes to emotions and feelings. You yourself can pump your brain up so that when you do not receive something from someone that you expected, it doesn't alter your mood. Now, I'm not saying that you don't want the love of people, you don't want people in your life, you don't want to socialize. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is, do you really want every time your loved one doesn't meet your expectations, it alters your mood? That is a program. Okay? And then it causes more issues. Then it causes other people doing things that they don't really want to do, but they're doing it because they know that you're doing it, and then they don't think you're good. So everybody thinks everyone has a problem with stuff, and everybody's doing things that they don't really want to do. And then you're wondering why there's so much anger and resentment going on. So what you want to do is you're going to look at everyone and you're going to see their value and you're going to see their worth. I am not big on labeling, and I'll tell you why I'm not big on labeling. When you label someone of a low vibe nature, you can label people high. Oh, they're the most remarkable person. That's good. But when you label them or their actions in a low vibe, that does not assist your brain to make reconciliations, to find solutions, or to get yourself out of the situation. Remember that high vibe, that high fear of that person that you've labeled. Okay, it's going to keep them in your life. That's why a year later, they're still there. 2 years later, they're still there. Okay, you have to lose that fear. Okay, and you have to lose that anger in order to keep safe boundaries, so to speak. So it's really, really important to understand that lower vibes do not keep you safe. Fear doesn't keep you safe. Only for a little bit. And then sometimes the fear becomes out of control and it becomes what I want to call hypersensitive. Everything is scaring you. Every particular of this situation. Or you may trade one fear for another fear and not realize that it's still the same fear. Okay? So, lower vibes. Just recognize, lower vibe. If it is running out of control in my life, if it is popping up, I should pause, pay attention, and take action. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't think. I'm like, well, are you where you want to be at? Do you think this is interfering with you at all? And they're like, well, yes, but I don't think. Well, then you have to decide if you want to pause, pay attention, and take action. Or do you want to just complain? Or say it's out of your control? Because I guarantee you, the more you say something is out of control, it really is out of your control. Because the brain will not allow you to hear anything, see anything, or think anything that's going to help you to change the situation. Its job is to help you, keep you in the fear. Remember, the highest vibe. So if your high vibe is to make resolution, then your brain is always going to be a person who finds resolution for you, or a solution for you, or a way out. Your brain is fascinating. It's fascinating. And if it's been a frenemy where it works for you and works not for you, that's just because there are 2 different programs running in there of high nature and they're going back and forth. And you get to decide which one you want to keep, which one you want to remove. You know this, you have this tool now. You're learning about this tool. Maybe you haven't done it yet, but maybe this is inspiring you too. Or maybe it's saying, hey, this is really interesting. You just continue to listen to the different blogs and the different videos that I put out that are helping you to understand your mood, your reaction, your response is based on your programs that you have 100% power over to enhance. You're not as helpless as you think. They want you to believe that it's not. But they want you to believe it because that's the answer they know. Okay? They don't know that there's another answer. Okay? That there's a useful, more productive answer for why things are going a little havoc and that you can actually do something. You don't have to wait around for anyone. Okay? It's not beyond your control. What happens is that when the low vibe gets really in control, then yes, it is very hard to break the cycle, but doesn't mean it can't be broken. Okay? Sometimes self-help is not beneficial because you actually need more hands-on. You need someone to really take you by the hand and help you. That is okay. Because it's still a solution. Okay, so we have a lot of things, though, that we have a lot of beliefs that impede us from doing things like that. Like, for one thing, I can tell you right now, when it comes to your health, money is one of the biggest factors why people don't get help. Because they get it in their brain, they don't have money. That you need money. I remember there were times of things that I did based on the belief of what I thought other people said. And then I found out it wasn't right. And I was like, what? I had no idea. Okay, so I had this belief. Money beliefs. Oh my, they are, I would say, number one. I think, like even in marriages, money is one of the biggest issues. Could you imagine how peaceful your life would be if you came to terms with all your limited beliefs that have with money, and how it is that you're still creating the habitual habits that are keeping you where you find money is a struggle? Think about it. How about relationships from the past? What if you released those? I mean, how much better would your current relationship be? You're thinking, well, I'm holding on to those because I know this could happen, and this could happen, and this could happen, and this could happen. That's a whole library for your brain to be confused all the time. It's going to just stay confused. And it's full of things that are likely not to occur to you or to occur again. Okay? So when you relearn that the things from the past that are of lower vibe nature, you want to reconcile with. So yes, you want to reconcile with them. My camera cut off. I couldn't get back to it till later. So you want to reconcile with those things that are in your mind. Okay? And your brain is your best tool to do it. A lot of times we're looking for outer stuff to do it. We try to distract ourselves, or maybe we take unhealthy things, or just different things. We're looking for that solution. But your tool, which is right here, it'll do it for you. This is Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost. Catch you next time.